What if I told you that 2026 could flip everything on its head? Not some distant, abstract event, but one man's actions. Donald Trump. The decisions he makes will ripple across the world and even into space. You think you know what's coming, but trust me, you don't. In 2026, the stakes are higher than ever. Space, politics, human enhancement, everything is about to collide in a way you can't imagine. Why does it matter to you? Keep watching, because what happens next is just the beginning. So, what exactly is on the horizon for 2026? Well, it's not just about Trump, it's about what's happening because of him. His influence is about to reshape everything. From the military and space to the way we think about history. You might think the space race is over, but trust me, it's only just begun. The U.S. is pouring money into new space weapons, preparing for an all-out battle up there. Russia, China, they're not sitting on the sidelines either. And guess what? The stakes are higher than ever, because if space becomes a battlefield, it's not just satellites at risk, it's our very future. What does that mean for you? Stay tuned, because this is where the story really takes off. Here's the thing. The U.S. isn't just playing catch-up in space, it's getting ready for war. The military isn't just building satellites, they're building weapons. And Trump is making sure the U.S. Space Force gets everything it needs, 40% more funding for the next fiscal year, to be exact. That's right, 40%. The goal? A missile defense shield so powerful it could stop enemy strikes before they even hit the Earth. But this isn't just about missiles. This shield could target enemy satellites. Yes, satellites in orbit. And the technology isn't coming from some far-off dream. SpaceX's Starship is ready to play a huge role. If a war takes down satellites, Starship could replace them fast. And guess what? The U.S. military is betting on this. But hold on, what about other countries? You won't believe how this is escalating. It's not just the U.S. making moves. Other nations are gearing up too. Britain's already talking about building its own counter-space capabilities. Basically, the ability to attack or disable satellites. France? They've been working alongside the U.S. to get dangerously close to Russian satellites. And China? They've ramped up their satellite launches by 8 times since 2015. That's not all. They've been practicing what American generals call on-orbit dogfighting tactics. And trust me, the West is watching closely. This isn't some future threat. It's happening right now. And if Russia really does go rogue in space, we could see something truly terrifying. An attack on a satellite network so massive, it could change the game completely. A space-based nuclear weapon. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. Russia's been suspected of developing one, and if they pull it off, it could take out entire constellations like Starlink in one shot. This isn't just a war of missiles, this is a war of everything. Now here's where it gets even more unsettling. We've seen the military space race intensify, but it's not just about weapons anymore, it's about control. If Russia crosses the line and starts using space-based nuclear weapons, it won't just be a loss in orbit, it'll be a devastating blow to global infrastructure. And here's the kicker, this isn't some far-off threat. 2026 could be the year it happens. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 bans weapons of mass destruction in orbit, but Russia might just tear that rule up. And with the U.S. Space Force gearing up to fight back, this could be the start of a new era where the battle for space becomes the battle for Earth itself. So ask yourself, what happens when the rules of space no longer apply? This is a turning point, and what comes next will be nothing short of history-making. But this isn't just about space anymore, it's bigger than that. As the world's powers posture in orbit, there's something else brewing here at home. Donald Trump is facing a massive challenge. He's pushing for control over something even more critical, America's economy. You might not think it's related, but trust me, it is. In 2026, Trump will nominate a new Federal Reserve chair, and this time he might pick someone who answers to him, not the economy. He's been vocal about Jerome Powell, the current chair, accusing him of being too late on interest rates. And as Powell's term ends, Trump has a chance to place someone who aligns with his agenda. What's at stake here? If Trump succeeds, we could be looking at the politicization of central banking, a dangerous move that could destabilize the global economy. It's déjà vu. Remember the 1970s when President Nixon forced the Fed to keep rates low, leading to runaway inflation? This is a risk that could have catastrophic effects. But Trump's camp seems to think they can control it. What happens if they're wrong? And now, let's talk about the real-world consequences. If Trump successfully exerts influence over the Federal Reserve, It won't just be Wall Street that feels the heat. It'll be ordinary people like you and me. We're talking about higher inflation, an unstable economy, and policies that could hurt your savings, your job, your future. Central bank independence has been a cornerstone of economic stability for decades. But if Trump gets his way, that might all change. And here's the thing, you've already seen signs of this. Across the globe, political pressure is mounting on central banks to abandon their independence. From Japan to the European Union, governments are pushing for low interest rates to fund their policies. And if this trend spreads, the result could be a system where money isn't controlled by experts, it's controlled by politics. You're not just watching a financial crisis unfold. You're witnessing the potential collapse of the very system that has kept the global economy stable for generations. If this feels familiar, say so in the comments, because we might already be living the beginning of this new era. But here's the unsettling truth. This isn't just about one man or one country. It's about the systems that allow this to happen. You see, the pressure on central banks is just the tip of the iceberg. The real problem lies in the systems of power, leverage, and fear that prop up decisions like these. What's driving this push for politicized money? The incentives, the spectacle, the desire for control. Trump's not the only one playing this game. Around the world, leaders are scrambling to keep the economy afloat in ways that benefit their political goals, not the people. The same forces driving the space race are shaping the global economy. But it's not about rockets or missiles, it's about maintaining control. And the real danger, once you've bent the system to your will, it's almost impossible to turn back. The next time a country or a leader pressures a central bank, it might be too late. This could be the beginning of the end for economic stability as we know it. And if we're not careful, we could be living in a world where money isn't about value anymore. It's about power. So what happens next? Two paths are emerging and neither is pretty. On one hand, Trump could succeed in gaining control of the Federal Reserve, pushing through policies that align with his agenda. If that happens, expect a political financial system, one where every decision is driven by short-term gains for those in power. Inflation could soar, and the global economy might spiral into chaos as countries scramble to adjust. On the other hand, if the system fights back, we could see major resistance. Central banks might stand firm, leading to conflict between politicians and economists. This could ignite an even bigger crisis, one where political powers try to overrule economic stability at every turn. So what's the real outcome? No one can say for sure, but one thing's certain, the moves being made right now are laying the groundwork for the future. And that future, it's already in motion. In the end, the most unsettling truth is this. The next few years will not just be defined by the decisions made, they will be defined by how much control those decisions will give to the few at the top. The future of space, economics, and human advancement could all be shaped by one man and one party's vision for the world. If Trump succeeds in rewriting the rules, we may be living in a world where space is no longer the final frontier. It's the new battleground for power. And if his influence over the economy grows, the very structure of how money is made could shift forever. It's a dangerous game being played. And whether we like it or not, we're all part of it. So, what happens next? Will we let it unfold, or will we push back? Follow for more updates because the next move is already being made and you won't want to miss it.